Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Hi. Good, good. And you? Hello. Do you guys see me?
Nice you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So
Are
maybe
we...
we can start interview by you can just introduce yourself.
Okay, so we're not gonna wait for anybody else, right?
No, I think it's just us, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Assel. I'm from Kazakhstan, but now I live in France. And so I'm a biologist. I have a PhD in molecular biology and virology. And I've worked with viruses and little flies, Drosophila. So I got my PhD from Strasbourg, and I had my bachelor's from University of York in England. So I've traveled a lot because of my job, and I like it very much.
That's nice to hear. So where exactly did you do your education, and what education pathway did you take?
So basically, I grew up in a very small city in Kazakhstan. It's very small town, like industrial sort of town, you know, where you don't really find a lot of like big good schools and stuff. So it was like really basic post-Soviet education, and but I had very nice teachers, and I had some problems with biology in my high school, and I had the lowest mark. My lowest mark was for biology, and that's why my parents, they have found a very nice teacher to work with me, and she became my mentor for life. We still keep in touch, and so since school time I started to be interested in biology. Then I went to one university in Kazakhstan, in Almaty, and I have studied there for 1 year, and I applied for a scholarship to go to England. So I completed my bachelor in England at the University of York. Then I came back to Kazakhstan because I had to work for 5 years after having this scholarship. And I worked there in a very new university. It's called Nazarbayev University, and we have created a completely new studying program for biology students. And after that, I have searched. So basically, I got married, and I had my first child, Amina. And my husband, he got a PhD position in France. So we moved to France, and then I applied for a PhD here as well. And so like that, I completed my PhD, and I had another 2 kids. So now I have 3 kids, and that's why I'm having a little pause there for research, because my third one is very little. But at the moment, I'm working with UNICEF as a consultant on vaccination questions.
Wow, that's a great journey. Nice to hear.
Thank you
So
very
what
much.
describes like a typical work day for your work?
In the lab, if we speak about research and academic lab, it's basically it was for me a long day, because I worked with flies. It means that sometimes you have to work on the weekend because you have to count them. So basically my experiment was to infect flies with viruses, and then I had to count how many of them die, for example. And that's why I would come on the weekends as well. So basically, when we speak about biological science in academy as a work style, there is a lot of this going on, right? You have to come, you have to have your cells or your mice or your flies, whatever you're working with. That's why you don't really have precise hours of working. However, on the other hand, you are quite flexible with your hours. But typical day is you come, you plan your experiment, you have it already planned, and then you go to the lab. And most of the time you spend it in the lab, and then in the office you have the analysis going on as well. So basically it involves a lot of being in the laboratory and then writing up the analysis and doing like some data analysis on the computer, so something like that.
Mm-hmm. Would you say you're satisfied with your job and what you do?
With biology as a job, I think it's quite nice. I mean, biology is a job where you observe nature, and I think it's something that is more very important in my job, that you actually observe the beauty of everything. I mean, of the creation of everything, of every cell, of DNA, of every living thing. And this is something that keeps you inspired all the time, and something that is challenging your brain all the time. So this is what I like about my job, is that you're always challenged by the complexity of everything around you. On the other hand, with the job, with the research in academia, it's not super family friendly. So for women, for example, who want to have kids, there are many women who are there to make a choice whether to stay in research or to have kids. Unfortunately, it is still like that. We still are not having the best facilities to combine the both family and research. So I do hope that it will change. I was quite lucky because I managed to have my second daughter during my PhD without a lot of pressure from supervisors, but I'm like an exception. And really many women who want to have a family or have research, they sacrifice one of them. So this is, I think, for women, it's not that easy actually to stay in the research. And also because we have to move a lot. And this is good on one hand, because you get to travel a lot, you get to meet many people, you speak languages and stuff. And then at the same time, with the family, with the kids, if your husband is a researcher as well, you can imagine that it's a bit complicated to move countries all the time. So I think there is always, as in any jobs, there are goods and the bads.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think your job experience changed with the COVID-19 pandemic that has came up? And what's your experience with it, since you're a researcher, and especially vaccines and biology?
Yeah. Actually, I have done a career shift during the pandemics, because I have completed my PhD, and then I was thinking whether I continue to do research or I can move to science journalism or to public health kind of related jobs. And actually pandemics, because I have witnessed the rise of anti-vax movement in Kazakhstan during the pandemics, and the rise of conspiracy theories and things like this. People did not believe into that the virus existed, and we didn't have many people to explain in simple words what is the COVID-19, what is the virus, how does it work, how it's different from bacteria, why we don't take antibiotics, for example. So simple things like that, but not very simple to explain. So what I did during the pandemics, because I'm on maternity leave with my third one, and I decided not to waste my time and to actually go onto the social media. And this is how I opened my Instagram account, and I was very active in Facebook as well, to promote so to explain what vaccines are about, what viruses are about, what we have in hand against this kind of infections, and how do we actually need to think about viral infections as such. And I think it became quite clear for me that I can actually help during the pandemic, and not only with my research. So I think the good thing about the biology is that everybody needs to know it. Now we come to a moment where everybody needs to, we don't really care if a person knows classical music or whatever, right? But we do care that the parent knows basics about how vaccines work, what are the viruses and things like this. So we actually come to a moment where technology and science and engineering, these are some common sense, basic, it's the basic knowledge that everybody needs to know, especially parents. And I have started to promote this awareness among parents in Kazakhstan. And as a result of this, I got actually a contract from UNICEF Kazakhstan, because they noticed my volunteering activity, and they actually offered me a job. So at the end of the day, this pandemic actually turned very well for me, because I have managed to change the direction of my career. And I was noticed as a professional who can work also in this like communication, science communication kind of field. So at the end, it turned out quite nice, actually, this experience.
That's great to hear. What advice would you give high school students and I guess anyone in university, because that's our main audience for girls in STEM? What advice would you give them for them entering a STEM career or anything?
Right.
What classes, and besides classes as well?
Yeah, I think the first thing that is important in science, and especially in basic research, is curiosity of mind. You just have to stay curious all the time. You have to be interested in life, and this is really a question of lifestyle. Like you turn it on, and that's it. It stays with you during all the life. Your curiosity, because there are students, for example, who want to go into biology because they want to cure cancer, or they have some mission in their head. But actually, what is stronger as motivation is just curiosity, because every day when you come to a lab and your experiment doesn't work 30 days in a row, you do something or 3 months, you do something and it just doesn't work, your motivation, like your big mission, will not work there. The only thing that will work is your curiosity. And if you're really interested how it works, why is it like this? Why, if we add this, it will change the color? Or why this bacteria is reacting this way? You just have to really train yourself to ask questions, to ask good questions. You have to learn how to ask good questions. And you also have to try to learn how to learn. There is a Coursera course which is called Learning How to Learn. Probably you know about that one. And this is really the most important thing that you can do to prepare yourself for a career like that. And also just think of science. It's like a career in science will not promise you a lot of money. That's for sure. Or you can do money with IT, for example. You can have a better choices where if you want to get big money. But the career in science will get you meet very nice people, will help you to travel a lot and to know many cultures, and just will help you to stay tuned for all your life, because you're gonna have to be challenged. You're gonna challenge your brain all the time. You have to, because you always will absorb new information. And so this is what is great, but also it's a choice. I mean, if you don't like it, if you don't like to always have to update your knowledge, then you don't go onto science. So basically, I think the best way to understand whether you want to go to science or not is to try it. So when you're young like this, when you're at school, when you're during your first year in bachelor's, every now and then, when you have time, when you have your holidays, try to have internship or some volunteering experience beside some of older colleagues, scientists. And when you try it, you will know it, whether it's good for you or not.
Yeah, that's good advice. And as a biologist, do you have any future goals that you have set? Anything you're working towards in the future?
So basically now for me, because I moved into this science communication field a little bit, now I want to build a community in Kazakhstan which will be more aware about infectious diseases in general. So I want to educate parents and children about their health concerning infectious diseases. So this is my goal for now, I think.
Oh, that's so nice. It's nice to hear. That's all the questions I have. Do you have any questions?
Cool. And what's your name?
Oh, my name is Aisha.
Aisha, nice to meet you. And where are you now?
Right now I'm in Houston, Texas, in the US.
Right. Oh my God, that's yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Cool. I'm so happy that I met you, and and I'm gonna follow your page, and and probably we'll meet one day in one of the events. Or,
Hope so. Okay.
And what career do you want to follow?
I want to go into biomedical engineering.
Really? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I have a friend who works exactly in biomedical engineering. She got her 3D printer for organs recently for her lab, and they're printing ears. If you're interested to meet her, maybe for an interview as well, I can connect you
Oh,
guys.
that'd be great. Maybe you can send us
Yeah,
her
yeah,
contact
for sure,
information.
for sure. Oh, cool. I'm so happy for, yeah, that you
Yeah,
guys exist. Yeah.
that's all we have for you.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I wish you best of luck, and I think any person can start working in science any age that they want. Don't I think it's important to know, to understand that you really you can change your career anytime. You can try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. I mean, any experience counts.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I think at school we think that the decisions, that the exams that we do today will decide everything what will follow. No, that is not true. I mean, everybody can do mistakes, and it's fine as long as you're interested. It's fine. If you lost your interest or you have another priorities in life, it's also fine. Because this is a disappointment that we get with science, because we imagine in our head that it's going to be like some romanticized kind of a adventure, but it's not always like this. This is a job like any other job. But it's interesting, yes, but if it doesn't work for you, it's fine as well. So just, I think this is also quite nice to remind. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye
day.
bye. Yeah, you too. Bye bye.